A very big feat for Pssf, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies today. My name is Betty Kiptum. It is quite a humble pleasure to be able to MC this particular event. So we are just awaiting the arrival of the chief guest, and as I had informed you a bit earlier, that once he walks in, we shall all arise to receive him. Thank you for your patience. Kindly arise as we receive the chief guest. Most welcome, Chief of Staff and Public, Head of Public Service, Felix Koskei. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Let us continue standing as we have the national anthem. Thank you very much. You may have your seats kindly. I would like to invite Rosemary Kuraru to join us at the front for a word of prayer, kindly.
Thank you. Let us all bow our heads for a word of prayer. Almighty and everlasting Father, Jehovah Lord, we come before your presence this morning with thanksgiving in our hearts. We want to thank you for the gift of a new day and a gift of life. Father, as we celebrate our second annual general meeting and the launch of our strategic plan for PSSS, Jehovah Lord, we want to commit the entire ceremony before you, my Father. We commit our chief guest and all our membership before you, my Father. We commit our members, even those who are joining us virtually, into your able hands. May you grant us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as we discharge this EGM today. We thank you and we honor you, for it is in Jesus' mighty name we do pray and believe. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rosemary, for that prayer. Now remember that this AGM is being beamed live. There's an online audience that is watching. There's also TV, KBC TV is broadcasting this live. So we welcome all the audiences, both here physically and virtually, as well as at home watching. Now, I will just give you a brief introduction as to who Pssf is. Remember that Pssf was established under the Public Service Superannuation Scheme Act, number 8 of 2012. This particular scheme commenced in January 2021 under the executive order that was issued on 20th November 2020. Now, upon its commencement, all teachers, civil servants, and disciplined personnel who were aged below 45 years were transferred from the previous non-funded scheme, which is the Public Service Pension Scheme, to PSSS. The scheme is registered and regulated by the Retirement Benefits Authority as a legal requirement. The Board of Trustees is mandated to hold annual general meetings to present the financial performance of the scheme to members. It is also registered by the Kenya Revenue Authority for tax compliance. One of the feats of PSSS this far is that the membership as at 31st of March 2024 stands at 428,801 members, comprising 253,000 teachers, 64,000 civil servants, and 110,000 members of the disciplined services. I'm sure we shall be hearing more of what Pssf has achieved over the past 3 or so years. And I would now like to invite the Chief Executive Officer, that is Dr. Jonah Ayabe, to the stage. Welcome, Dr. Ari. A round of applause, kindly.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Chief Guest, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Mr. Felix Koske, the Principal Secretary is present, the Principal Secretary of the National Treasury, Dr. Chris Kipto, Board of Trustees of our Public Service Superannuation Scheme Fund, our regulator, the Retirement Benefits Authority, service providers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me this morning to welcome all of you to our second annual general meeting. I am more delighted to note that in our presence, we have the sponsor, or rather the employers of the scheme, led by our chief guest, Mr. Felix Koske. I do extend this welcome, noting that today is a momentous occasion for our pension fund, because we will be launching our strategic plan for 2023-2027, and thereafter we will have our annual general meeting. This is a day that the Board of Trustees has dedicated to our esteemed members, and we are talking of members of the scheme, which are about 429,000, which includes the teachers, civil servants, and those from our discipline service. Today, with immense pride, I welcome you all as we launch this well-crafted strategic plan that will guide the way at which we will be executing our mandate as a public service pension fund. It will chart the course for our future. It will help us to evaluate our performance and help us to also deliver good return and good benefits to our members when they exit service. I want to express my sincere gratitude to all those who played a critical role in crafting the strategic plan. During our stakeholder validation, we received so many comments from stakeholders, which has gone a long way in building this strategic plan that we'll be launching today. I also want to appreciate, of course, the role that played by the Board of Trustees who are present here today in making sure we craft a guide or a roadmap that will be helping us to move forward. Our chief guest, the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, we really appreciate that you have had time to grace this occasion to launch one of the biggest pension schemes strategic plan that we have in this country. If you look at the statistics that we have within the retirement benefits industry, our chief guest, you will note that the pension funds that have asset values of over 100 billion are only two, that is the National Social Security Fund and our fund, which is the Public Service Superannuation Fund, which has been in existence for almost 4 years and growing rapidly. Another very unique thing about our pension fund, our chief guest, is that we actually touch lives across the nation. In all parts where we have government, there is a likelihood, or there's a very high chance that we have our member there. And if we are talking of around 430,000 members distributed all over this country, or wherever we have government, teachers, disciplined forces, and the civil servants, it means the ripple effect of the decisions that we are making will really touch the lives of this nation. As a pension fund, again, our chief guest will note that we contribute to building not only the social security for the livelihoods of our members, but building the economy through mobilizing the necessary savings that can go a long way towards championing the investment. So we mobilize savings from the contribution from the members, where members contribute every month 7.5% of their basic salary, and with the guidance of the government, they contribute 15%. So we receive, of course, for every member about 22.5% of their monthly contribution to our fund, which we judiciously and we prudently invest with advice of the fund managers, with advice of service providers, majority of them seated here, to make sure that we are prudent and careful, so that whatever we are dealing with the members' funds, we are focusing on that member, that they will retire with a return, with a decent pay when they exit service. So our chief guest, the team that we are led by our board of trustees, the fund managers, we are always very cautious to make sure that we put the best in our scheme. And for that reason, the crafting of this strategic plan is to put in place the various documents that will guide our investments, that will guide our programs to achieve what I have actually mentioned. So the launch of this strategic plan marks a significant step towards the Public Service Superannuation Fund progression. Our unwavering commitment with this strategic roadmap will propel us forward. We envision to have a scheme, and a public service scheme, which will be trusted by all our members, called upon the mission that we have put in the strategic plan, where we'll be collecting contributions, investing them prudently, and making sure that at the time of exit, we pay the right person the right amount within the right time, so without any delay, so that they can have a decent life upon exit of service. So once again, I welcome all of you, and hope we'll have a very exciting moment as we do the launching of the strategic plan, and also when we transit to the annual general meeting that we will be starting immediately after the launch of the strategic plan. With those few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite our acting chairperson of the fund, Trustee Agnes Mwenda, to come over and make remarks, and thereafter invite our Principal Secretary of the National Treasury. Welcome.
Thank you very much, CEO. A round of applause for him. Thank you very much. My name is Agnes Mwenda. I'm the acting chairperson, Public Service Superannuation Scheme. The Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Mr. Felix Koskei, Principal Secretary is present, distinguished guests, members of public service, and esteemed stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity once again to welcome all of you to this auspicious occasion of our second annual general meeting, which is being celebrated today. Thank you very much for this. Is going to mark a significant day in our calendar as a scheme as we launch our strategic plan. Guest of honor, sir, with your permission, before I continue, allow me to introduce the board of trustees that have steered this organization this far the achievements we are celebrating this day. There are ladies and gentlemen behind it, and these are my trustees. Just stand up, tafadhali. Thank you, thank you. And guest of honor, sir, from this end, we have Dickton Muhu representing NAT, that is Kenya Union of National Teachers. We have Philemon, Dr. Philemon, who is representing the Public Service Commission. Thank you, you can have a seat. Next to him, there is Wix Mwethi Jenga, who is representing Kenya Union of Post-Primary Teachers. Next to him, we have Calvin O'Neill, he is representing Public Service Commission. Thank you, Calvin. Teacher Service Commission, thank you for that correction. And next to him is William Ochiel, who is representing State Department of Public Service, and the lady there is representing National Police Service. Thank you, Rosemary. You can have a seat. Asante. So this is the team that has steered this important scheme this far. By way of background, allow me to say that the scheme was conceived in the year 2010 as part of wider public sector reforms that were targeting the pension industry. With this, there was a need of managing the ballooning pension wages in the country so that we can help the government manage the exchequer. The reforms led to enactment of Public Service Superannuation Scheme Act that came into place the year 2012, number 8. This gave provision for transitioning of non-contributory pension scheme to defined contribution scheme, that is Public Service Superannuation Scheme today. This further helped to manage the pension scheme for the public servants, and we have a board of trustees in place that comprises of the ladies and gentlemen that have just introduced. The trustees are drawn from various member representing groups, that is member representatives and the sponsor representatives, as you have just seen. So the fund commenced in the year 2021, January, with an objective of providing retirement benefits to civil servants, teachers employed by Teacher Service Commission, and disciplined service personnel, that is the National Police Service, the Prison Service, and the National Youth Service. The Act mandates the board to collect pension contributions optimally, invest, protect, and pay pension to members as and when they fall due. In so doing, the fund relieves the government the huge wage bill burden by generating budgetary saving investments in the sector and economy. Further, the collected pension contributions led to investment capital accumulation. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say that when we embarked on preparation of this inaugural strategic plan, 2023-2027, we were well cognizant of the role strategic planning process plays in shaping, driving, and the strategic direction of the fund towards achieving its long-term goals and objectives. As we launch the strategic plan today, we acknowledge the remarkable milestones that we have achieved so far, including having operational board of trustees in place. We also have service providers in line with the Public Service Superannuation Act and the regulator, that is Retirement Benefits Authority guidelines. We have, thank you. We have the fund manager, fund custodians, and also fund administrator. They are in place, and all this was constituted while adhering to Public Service Superannuation Act 2012, number 8, and following closely the regulations by Retirement Benefits Authority. While we are alive to the challenges and risks that may potentially hinder smooth operations of the fund, I wish to assure you, members, that the Board of Trustees has put in place adequate mechanisms geared towards mitigating risks, protecting the interests of the scheme members, and assuring them a decent quality life upon retirement. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, The Board of Trustees has formed a strategic direction with a clear vision of a trusted retirement benefit provider, with the mission statement of ensuring that all the contributions are collected, optimally invested, and pay benefits to the scheme members and their beneficiaries by sustainably through sound financial, good governance, and risk management policies in pension fund administration. In order for the fund to deliver its mandate to the members, the board will be guided by the 5 strategic issues that are namely sustainability in provision of retirement benefits, efficient pension administration, and effective pension administration, and structures, and has put structures and systems in place. We've also to consider member-centric driven services, business processes efficiency, and corporate and governance and human resource development. Ladies and gentlemen, I conclude this. I single out my pleasure to convey my sincere gratitude to all of you, our dear honorable guests, for making time to attend this occasion. I wish to express my deepest gratitude to appreciate all our members and stakeholders for their limitless support. To my fellow trustees, thank you very much. I'm sincerely grateful to you for your treasured and input and commitment to affairs of this fund. To the Secretariat, led by our Hebu CEO, we say a big thank you. Thank you for your dedication and steadfast in serving our members. As a team, we look forward to building a better, sustainable future for our members. As we all know, the government of Kenya is committed to ensure that we have a social protection, and at the same time to ensure that as you serve the government, your integrity is protected, and upon retirement, again, you'll exit the service as a honorable pensioner who is still protected. Your dignity is protected today and even as you retire. More so, we cannot have members leaving the scheme searching for greener pastures outside because the employer has ensured that we have a pension scheme for the members. So as we work, let's give it all, knowing that the employer has taken into consideration today as we work and even as we look forward to retire. There is a way we can give it all to ensure that there is maximum production in the country as we develop and promote the vision of the country. Thank you very much. God bless you. Sorry. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome the Principal Secretary of the National Treasury and Planning. Thank you very much. May we give a round of applause as we welcome him. Thank you. Thank you very much. Karibu. Welcome, sir.
Asante sana.
Yes, thank you very much.
Chief guest of today, who is the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Honorable Felix Koske, esteemed members of the PSS and other stakeholders who are here. Good morning. Hamjambo. Assalamu alaikum. First, let me convey greetings from my Cabinet Secretary, Professor Njuguna Ndungu, and my colleagues from National Treasury. Do you receive his greetings? I have a statement to read on behalf of National Treasury, and then I will make a few remarks on my own. So I stand before you this morning with immense pride as we celebrate 2 momentous occasions: the launch of the inaugural strategic plan 2023-2027 and the holding of the second AGM of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme. This strategic plan marks a significant step towards ensuring the PSS remains a leader in safeguarding the financial security of our dedicated public servants. And as you have heard always a well-planned journey leads to a successful destination. It's also said that in planning lies the power to turn dreams into reality. And sometimes I've heard people say, plan like a visionary and execute like a warrior. Plan like a visionary and execute like a warrior. This is my encouragement to you on the strategic plan that you have, and the CEO and the rest of the members, because I have seen that this is a very well-developed plan in line with the guidelines for the preparation of the 5th generation strategic plans for 2023 to 2027 that my colleague PS Planning, Mr. Mohati, and his team have prepared. And this plan aligns with the transformative national agenda aspirations as espoused in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and Kenya's Vision 2030, as well as the 4th medium-term plan that also goes all the way from 2023 to 2027. I have gone through this plan, and I think I can say it has been meticulously crafted. And it's going to serve as a roadmap to propel the scheme, the growth of the scheme, and translate it into tangible benefits for members in retirement. By prioritizing investments aligned with the national development goals like better, the plan unlocks the potential for stronger returns. Additionally, the focus on operational efficiency ensures a stable environment for members' contributions to flourish and achieve PSS's long-term sustainability, ultimately maximizing the value members receive in their golden years. I've seen that this plan identifies key areas for investment, prioritizing opportunities that will contribute to better initiatives. This synergy will translate into significant benefits for PSS members by fueling economic growth through strategic investment. The plan paves way for a more prosperous Kenya, a prosperity that will directly impact on our members' retirement. The National Treasury, as a sponsor of PSS, is committed to growing a robust retirement benefit sector. As you are aware, we're now talking about a retirement benefit sector of about 1.7 trillion, with the major ones being the one of NSSF. And now this scheme is growing very fast with around 129 billion shillings, and it is growing exponentially. I've seen the numbers. We believe that it serves as a safety net for retirees, will reduce poverty in old age, will boost household incomes, and channel savings into productive investments that fuel the economic growth for our country. The National Treasury has actively supported the sector through various legislative measures. That is the National Retirement Benefits Policy of 2023, which fosters a harmonized, coordinated, and enhanced framework. This policy, along with the Retirement Benefits Authority's regulations, ensures a pension schemes that are well managed and members' benefits are protected. The pension sector has witnessed remarkable growth over the years. Assets under management by pension schemes have surpassed the impressive mark of what I've just mentioned of 1.7 trillion as of December last year. This growth is attributed to factors like increased members' contributions and investment income. The Public Service Superannuation Schemes Act, operationalized in 2021, played a key role in this expansion. It transformed the previous defined benefit scheme into a defined contribution scheme, empowering over 422,000 teachers, civil servants, and disciplined services personnel with control over their retirement savings. The scheme currently boasts of a fund value exceeding 129 billion shillings. These sizable assets held by pension schemes present a unique opportunity. They can be strategically invested in driving sustainable development, ensuring a better future for all Kenyans without compromising the needs for future generations. This synergy of sustainability and investment will create a legacy for generations to come. To the valued members of PSS, I urge you to actively utilize the resources available. Engage with financial advisors, attend educational workshops, and actively participate in shaping your retirement journey. PSS equips you with the tools to navigate your golden years with confidence. Let us celebrate the remarkable success of the PSS and its transformative impact on countless lives. May this scheme continue to be a beacon of hope, ensuring a secure and a joyful retirement of each member. Together, let us build a future brimming with prosperity and fulfillment of all PSS members and for Kenya as a whole. That's the statement from National Treasury. I will just add a few points. Head of Public Service. PSS has been under the National Treasury. We have nurtured it as a young child, and we feel this child has now grown. And we want to release it on its own, to be on its own. So already we have authorized that they get a space. I think they're in pension schemes. And we would like that delinking from Treasury so that you are independent. And we have agreed with our Director of Public Investments that we now allow the pensions department that remains under Gakika. Gakika manages this pension scheme. And then this other one for PSS actually becomes independent. You have a board, and you should be able to run it now like any other board. So that independence we give you. Honorable Head of Public Service, we had a delay in the constitution of the board, and that caused a bit of jitters. We thank you for finally gazetting the members. And I know there is only one that remains, which is the chairman, and I'm hoping that utasema neno moja hapa. And you let, then at least that matter can be put to rest. And for me, I just want to say that I have talked to your board members and said that as you make decisions, please care about the long-term environment that we operate in. I work at the National Treasury now, and I want to tell you that the economy is doing well. We have a well-diversified economy, an economy that bounces back even when we have a lot of challenges. We now have a growth of about 5.8% growth. We have taken measures to contain inflation, and inflation has come from 9.6% in October 2022. Now we are talking about 5%. And cost of living, therefore, has come down. Cost of petroleum prices have come down. A number of other items have come down. And so, and also I want to say that the shilling, which has been under a lot of pressure until February this year, has now stabilized. And you have seen that it has come down from trading at 165, now it's around 130 shillings, and it's stable. That has attracted, that has stabilized the sector. We have seen investors bounce back. They are confident. We see now in the capital markets a lot of activity in terms of investments. We have very good quality investors even at the Nairobi Stock Exchange. That is a sign that people have confidence in our economy. Yes, we have challenges in, of course, running our, making sure we get all the money. But we are determined to pursue a fiscal consolidation path that leads to containment of debt, because I think debt is an issue now we have to work on very much. So we want to raise revenues, both tax and non-tax, and we want to contain expenditures so that at the end of, in the next few years, should be running a near balanced budget. I think with that, I just want to finish by saying that at the National Treasury, even though we are struggling on exchequer requests, I want to confirm that our contributions to PSS are up to date, because I authorized yesterday, so that we are up to date. So that you will not say Treasury has not given. We will make sure that you have it, so that you invest it in the manner required. With those very many remarks, let me say I stop here for now. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to invite the Head of Public Service and the Chief of Staff to address us. Let's all be upstanding. Pigia makofi moja, pili, tatu. Karibu.
Thank you. Have your seat, sir. Thank you very much, Principal Secretary, Bwana Kipto. Principal Secretary, National Treasury, Dr. Chris Kipto. Director General, Kenya School of Government, who is represented here. Board of Trustees of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme, led by the Acting Chair, CEO of Public Service Superannuation Scheme, CEO of CPF, Dr. Jose Akili. I've seen CEO of National Police Service Commission here, and all other CEOs, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. 3 years ago, as the implementation of Kenya Vision 2030 entered its last decade, we ushered in a new era of opportunity for our senior citizens when we transitioned from pay-as-you-go pension model to contributory pension scheme. This singular state intervention, after over a decade of waiting, restored balance to the three-legged stool that is retirement. Just like a three-legged stool, the three pillars of a dignified retirement are pensions, social security, and private savings alongside family support. If one of these legs is missing, broken, or is weak, the retirement stool can topple, denying those who have dedicated a lifetime of servitude to their nation the right to retire with dignity. I'm therefore most privileged to join you today as we mark the second annual general meeting of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme, and in commemoration of this occasion, inaugurate the scheme's strategic plan for the period 2023-2027. Today, I'll focus on the first two legs of the retirement stool, social security and pensions. I do so because nurturing family is every Kenyan citizen's civic duty. As part of our nation's birthright, enshrined under Article 43 of the Constitution, it is a solemn duty of the state to provide appropriate social security as well as economic and social rights. These include health coverage, freedom from hunger, education, clean water, and sanitation. This is because our post-2010 Constitution heralded Kenya into the League of Nations, whose democratic construct is like that of a family. In truth, Thiadiba Anga is a family's love. We see our mothers and fathers who have worked all their lives, and we want to ensure they lack nothing in retirement and old age, whether they were in formal employment or not. In the younger beneficiaries of these birthrights, we see our sons and daughters. We want to give them the best start in life. Kenya, ladies and gentlemen, is a family. No matter one's age, we are bound together by a golden thread that fosters intergenerational equity. Ladies and gentlemen, now onto the second leg of the stool, pensions. Inspired by international best practice, the government took the bold step to remodel public pensions by transiting to this new scheme 3 years ago. This scheme had been preceded by the National Treasury Circular number 18 of 2010, directing the conversion of defined benefit schemes in the public sector to defined contributory schemes. The shift had been necessitated by the fact that since 1953, Kenya had administered public pensions under the provisions of the Pension Act Cap 189 on a pay-as-you-go model. Under the old regime, retirement benefits under this approach were based on a predetermined formula that relies on the basic salary of the employee at the exit and the length of service. The benefits were all financed directly from the national budget. In that context, actual pension expenditure in 2013-2014 stood at 27.9 billion. And by the end of 2017-2018, it stood at 63.2 billion. In the financial year 2024-2025, it is projected to exceed the record-shattering figure of 200 billion shillings. In recognition of the constraints faced under this model and the fact that retirement age cannot be a moving target, increased into perpetuity, in 2021, this new scheme finally came to be, heralding a win-win for the workers, the government, and taxpayers in totality, the Kenyan nation. Under this new system, employees and the government contribute, and the amounts are remitted to a dedicated fund. This transition to a defined contributory approach for public sector employees who are below 45 years old in January 2021 began with a membership of 330,000 employees drawn from the civil service, National Police Service, Kenya Prison Service, the National Youth Service, and Teacher Service Commission teachers. I note with satisfaction that the number of employees contributing to the new scheme has increased to 429,000 to date, in keeping up with the changing composition of the public service workforce. At present, these members contribute 7.5% of their basic salary, with the government contributing 15% in respect of each employee. Pooled, these employees and their employer, the government of Kenya, are contributing approximately 3.6 billion to the public service superannuation scheme each month. As part of the answer to His Excellency the President's call to mobilize national savings, in just 3 years, the fund's value has grown to 126 billion. Over this time, the government has also demonstrated continued commitment to delinking the governance of the public service superannuation scheme from that of the non-contributory scheme. In April, the Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury gazetted the appointment of members of the Board of Trustees for 3 years, in line with the provision of the Pssf Act. To enhance the governance of the scheme, the law provides for representation of members through their unions, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, and the Union of Kenya Civil Servants. As a sponsor and caring government, our commitment to good governance and financial sustainability of the scheme remains unwavering. Distinguished delegates, this scheme offers a sustainable model for managing public pensions in Kenya while promoting a savings culture among our public service employees. The savings culture is a key driver in the restoration of some sense of economic security in honor of our historic responsibility to the 21st century. Additionally, savings that are portable enables the officers enrolled in the scheme to make guided drawdowns in cases where they retire before statutory age or move to private sector. Overall, with guided growth to be realized through enhanced investment returns, these savings, whose return is pension payout, will ensure that our officers have a decent income and maintain a high standard of living in retirement. On the other hand, our funds within a structured arrangement guarantees liquidity for the timely settlement of retirement benefits to members and their families. This fosters through freedom from want by alleviating poverty and sufferings in retirement, as well as strengthening the social protection framework of the country. Distinguished members and trustees, the PSSS strategic plan, which we are launching today, lays out strategies supporting mobilization of savings and diversifications of investment portfolio. These plans are anchored on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda as codified under the fourth medium-term plan of 2023-2027. The establishment of this scheme has additionally fortified the place of Kenya, an ever-evolving and globally competitive financial sector, by promoting savings and investments in the capital markets and real estate or property development. PSS has also strengthened our social security system by enhancing better quality of life through provision of income upon the occurrence of events attributable to sickness, loss of employment, loss of life, and old age. In alignment with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the scheme will contribute to digital transformation by undertaking digitization and automation of critical processes, making services available to members of the scheme through various digital platforms, thereby enhancing government service delivery. During this strategic period, the scheme is tipped to achieve the following strategic objectives in its mandate. One is to achieve financial stability and profitability, followed by improving customer experience. To transform stakeholder engagement, will enhance business processes efficiency. It will also improve human capital and finally strengthen the legal framework and corporate governance. In keeping with our national values and principles of governance, the scheme's first strategic plan focuses on increasing engagement with members, cultivating ownership among key stakeholders. I challenge all members and employers alike to support the scheme in delivering its timely remittance of contributions and in strengthening the policy, legal, and institutional framework. Ladies and gentlemen, each one of you gathered here, alongside all those in gainful engagement in both private and public sectors, is making their contribution towards a fair, equitable, just and prosperous nation. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I want to add some few issues of the CAF. One is the issue of governance, and that is prominently stated in your strategic plan. Governance has been one critical parameter that has been very elusive, very challenging to the people of Kenya, and especially civil service. Issues of efficiency, issues of accountability, issues of transparency, and issues of operating within the law has been very, very, very challenging. So I want to urge all of us to every other time, every minute, to be pinching themselves and reminding themselves that the 129 billion shillings are not theirs. It's not for this Board of Trustees. It belongs to the members. So let us be prudent and let us make decisions on behalf of all the members, the 400 plus members, in ensuring that we really invest their money in profitable ventures. And we do that transparently, full of accountability, and full compliance with public participation, where members have to know what you are doing and why you are doing and why you think it is the right thing to do. I'm saying this because many a times we push the blame to consultants. Oh, we had a consultant, we had an expert, we had so and so. Nowadays, there's nobody who is immune to theft, immune to corruption, immune to misleading even their principals, to doing wrong things for their gainful gain, for their gain of benefit. So let us be alert, let us be vigilant. I know the entire public service has a repository knowledge and expertise. So I don't think there is an expert that will come from the moon to come and advise you that can easily end up misleading you. So please, make sure that the investment you are doing is an investment that later on in life, people will say, yes, we had board of trustees who really manage our resources, and we are happy because we are enjoying the savings and we are getting our payments regularly, and the assets that we invest in were really worth investing. So what I'm saying is that corruption has to have no space around this institution. So I'm giving you some few seconds so that it can sink. Has it sunk? Especially from the board of trustees. Is it sinking? Yeah. Because we want to change the trajectory of this country. We are not going to continue operating like animals who are not rational. We are rational human beings. And we cannot be blaming each other forever. Let this generation, and let this administration, and let this board of trustees be the first one to change the tide and make things to be done in a correct way. You get people stealing. Where are you taking this money to? Nowadays there is nowhere you can run to. Every transaction is monitored. You can't run abroad. You can hide it. You cannot go anywhere. Let us live within our means. And let us not abuse the trust that your members have given you. Union of Civil Servants has brought Kuraru, I think. KNUT has brought somebody. TSC has brought somebody. I don't know who brought the others. But please, usiibe pesa ya watu. We've been seeing people rushing to make decisions and even saving money or putting in money in banks. The ability is so shaky, and then the banks collapses. And you know why they are rushing to those shaky banks? Because they get commissions, they get every month, whatever the interest, they get something. So let us not be part of the scheme. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, let us operate, as I had said earlier, have a customer-centric, a citizen-centric, a member-centric service provision. Even the character that we are having, management. There should be people that knows who their bosses are by serving these members diligently, faithfully, and with speed. So we expect this institution, that I understand it is number 2 now, as a pension institution, second to NSSF. And I'm told they can easily overtake NSSF. To be professional run, you need to equate the kind of service, the kind of character that they should have with the kind of money that they are managing. So invest in technology, invest in training, and invest in ensuring that your members are getting up-to-date information and are involved in every decision that has some ramification on investment or otherwise. I want to urge the Board of Trustees also to be very careful not to fall into political space where decisions are made based on political orientation. Divorce yourself from political arena and be professionals and make decisions the right manner. So besides political influence, is also selfish interest. Let us not make decisions that tomorrow will enrich 2 or 3 people while the entire membership are suffering. So let us make sure that we run away from political or selfish interests when we are making decisions, especially for investment. I want to urge all of us again to be very alert, please. The world now is so dynamic. There are regional dynamism, we have the global space is so dynamic, and it's becoming complex every other day and requires heightened alertness to ensure that you don't invest, you don't make decisions that will be countered or negated by global or regional dynamics. Make decisions, all these environmental issues in terms of when you are doing situation analysis, you get to know properly so that when you're making decisions, you are alert that there are a lot of dynamics along the East African community. There are a lot of dynamics within administration management or investments or even decisions by Treasury on financial policies and investment policies that are to come into place so that you are. Be also very alert. There are so many people in town who have highly trained marketers. Highly trained. They can really confuse you. So invest thinking that now the returns here is 70%. Who tells you will get a 70% investment and in return anywhere? So there are witches around, highly trained, persuasive to the core, having their data statistics in their fingertips, mobilizing people around it, around the narrative. How did we make this decision? So I'm urging you to be very alert and get to know. And also understand why whatever new new investment ventures that they are introducing, why they ask yourself, so that it's better to remain, first of all, traditional, then you move slowly to emerging proposition, isn't it? So let us be very, very alert, because it may cause losses big time. Another risk that is the risk of trade union politics. Be very alert. Trade union politics are very vicious, very noisy, vicious, and if care is not taken, it can confuse everybody. More so, it can pull you people, especially the board of trustees. When you are in that boardroom, you forget that you are a board of trustee, and you start becoming a representative of your trade union. You are no longer a representative of your trade union. You need to make decisions. A representative from NAT taken care of. So let us not reach to that table and we start becoming like elected members, leaders, where one body with another one. When we reach there, we close ranks and we become trustees. That as much as we are taking care of the interests of our people, we don't dismember the body, and we not disorganize the entire arrangement. Because the interests of one union may slightly differ from the other one, but overall, it cannot differ so much, because your interest is to invest, maximize the resources, pay them in time. What else? Those are the things that I know sometimes it can creep in and it can totally mess up institutions. We've seen many where we get representation from bodily unions, even other institutions. Sometimes you get a board that other institutions nominate, and you will get a lot of difficulties in moving forward, because the person nominated and brought to that board does not realize that he takes the interest of that institution there professionally, but not being an agitator and a competitor. Be very careful. Another item that I wanted to, so that I can stop, is I want to challenge all of us, the trustees and the membership. Let us be sorting our matters, our issues, our concerns through the normal laid down provided channels. If there are issues, take them to the board, take them to the management. Let us desist from going to the social media and even the mainstream media to prosecute our challenges, our concerns in the institution out there. There are enough structures, I'm sure, in the management and also in the board of trustees that can sort out those issues. There are also channels and platforms that you can sort out your issues in government. So let us see that discipline, that we don't prosecute our matters out there. Some people who don't mean well twists the whole thing and messes up the entire institution. It is happening in many institutions, and sometimes it makes nonsense of the prudency and the professionalism around institutions. So I am urging all of us, if a member of the board of trustees has to go to that boardroom and bang the tables there, you don't issue a statement in Isiolo, Kakamega, say, prosecute, saying, "Minajua, tunakutana on Tuesday na iko maneno hapo na mimi tayari nimekataa. Come and refuse inside. And then when you go out, you address the press like you have feelings, and trust will solidify around the leadership. That is how things are done. But if we prosecute our matters everywhere, in funerals, in weddings, it does not make sense why this institution was created in the first place in law and why governance structures were created in the first place. They were created to sort out those issues so that you don't run to the bigger institution of the citizens before you sort out these matters internally. So that is something that I want to urge you to do. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, be professionals in running the affairs. Be professionals and be professionals indeed, so that many institutions will come and learn from you. Nowadays, even private sector come and learn from government institutions. Be that institution that people will be coming to benchmark in this country and beyond. So as I conclude, permit me to convey my congratulations to you all on this milestone. The trustees and all duty bearers of the scheme, as I say, the three-legged stool is in your hands. Public workers' lifetime savings have been committed to your administration. Nurture them with integrity, fidelity, and with every fiber of your being. I wish you fruitful deliberations during this annual general meeting and challenge you to join hands in ensuring we deliver the promise of a Kenya with intergenerational equity for generations to come. May the strategic plan that we unveil today be a true and faithful guide for shared prosperity for all members of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme. And I want to add that I understand that there is heightened tension on the delay of the appointment of the chair. We are aware, we know what the law demands, but you can realize that this institution is not like any other. It's a very serious institution. So we need to be very careful. We take care so that we can pick the right person. So give us a maximum of 10 days, you will get your chair. So as I said, this strategic plan, let it be a true and faithful guide for shared prosperity for all members of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme and all those that call this our beloved country, their land and nation. I thank you all. God bless Kenya. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Guest, for your wisdom and that powerful speech. It is now time, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, you may have your seats. It is now time for the launch of the strategic plan, and with your indulgence, Bwana Chief Guest, I would like to invite you to the left side of the stage so that we can kindly, Bwana Chief Guest, join us. Proceed to the left side there, and I will count you down to when you will be able to cut the ribbon, of course joined by the PS, acting chair, and the CEO. So I will count you down. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is the launch of the strategic plan 2023-2027 for NSSF, for PSSF rather. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for that launch. 5, 4, 3, 2. Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. Now we'd like to have a photo session, of course, with the strategic plan being handed over to the acting CEO, acting chair rather, and the CEO. Kindly give copies of the strategic plan to the chief guest. Please stop the music for a second. Awesome. Thank you very much. So the chief guest will hand over to the acting chair and the CEO. Board of Trustees, kindly join us. Give copies of the strategic plan to the chief guest. Please stop the music for a second. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So for the photos, let's have the chief guest and the trustees. Please move to the center of the stage so that the photographers can capture it well. Thank you very much. You may have your seats. The trustees may have your seats. Bwana PS, chief guest, acting CEO, and the chair. We'd like to give a gift. Kindly remain there, please. Yes, just in the front there. The gift will be handed over by the acting chair to the chief guest. Thank you very much. You may have your seats. The trustees may have your seats. Acting CEO and the chair would like to give a gift. Kindly remain there. Yes. It's a celebration. Round of applause. The gift will be handed over by the acting chair to the chief guest. It's a celebration. Great, thank you very much. You may take your seats. Remember that all members will receive an abridged version of the strategic plan as you walk out later on during lunchtime. So kindly remain seated as we allow our chief guest to exit. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. A round of applause as he leaves, kindly. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, we will just proceed directly to the second part of the program because of time constraints and we are also on air. So we will just get into the other section of the AGM. But before we do that, I'd like you to all to stand up kindly. We want to stretch a little bit, have a little bit of an energizer. And then kindly don't walk out. I am kindly requesting you not to walk out. Okay, let's all stand. We just want to stretch for a little bit before we get into the second part of the program. All right, so let me put this down. If you're able, kindly raise your hands like this. Let's do this. Stretch, stretch.
If you are just joining us, you are just in time to view the Public Service Superannuation Fund Annual General Meeting and the strategic plan launch, the strategic plan 2023-2027 launch happening live at the Kenya School of Government in Lower Kabete in Nairobi. Here we've just seen the chief guest leave, the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, Felix Koskei, who spoke passionately about governance of funds like the Pssf, the Public Service Superannuation Fund, which has also taken this opportunity to, hold its annual general meeting and present its financial statements to members as it also launches its 2023-2027 strategic plan. Just a little background on the fund. Since independence, the government operated a non-contributory defined benefit pension scheme fully financed through the consolidated fund. The scheme was established under the Pensions Act Cap 189 in 2010. The National Treasury introduced reforms in management of retirement schemes for the public sector. Now, the reforms required all public institutions to convert defined benefit schemes to defined contribution schemes, and thus we find ourselves with the Public Service Superannuation Fund. By the way, this retirement sector in the country has a total mass of over 1 trillion shillings, with the notable ones, of course, is the NSSF and now also the Pssf. The NSSF has about 100 billion plus in funds, and also the Pssf has about 129 billion shillings with 400 plus members and growing, as we have seen today. The speakers we had today, the CEO of PSS, Jonah Ayobei, just talking about how the rapid growth of this fund has enabled members to save quite a bit and also invest their funds. Where we have, this fund is unique in that we have 7.5% from members and 15% being contributed from the government. That's a total of 22% being contributed to the fund, hence its rapid growth. And we do have several members in this fund. We have all employees in stated categories of public service who had not maybe attained the age of 45 years as at January 2021 were automatically enrolled in the scheme. In addition, any person employed by government service in the specified cohort of public service is required to join the contributory scheme. The previous scheme continues to operate for the purposes of provision of retirement benefits for employees who are aged 45 years and above as at 1st January 2021. But it is also responsible for repayment of pension benefits to the pensioners, dependents and beneficiaries who are on government pension payroll as at the date of establishment of PSSS. Dear viewers, we just heard from the chief guest, Head of Public Service and Chief of Staff, just talking passionately about good governance of such schemes, that it offers a sustainable model for all other schemes in the country. The government is expecting expedited growth of this scheme to be realized, and we also saw about the structured arrangement guarantees liquidity of such schemes. Felix Koskei just adding that the establishment of the scheme has established Kenya in corporate development and also strengthened the country's social development, social security system. He also spoke about the need for financial stability and customer experience and enhancing business processes in such schemes, and not forgetting strength and corporate governance in schemes such as a Pssf. However, he also mentioned and urged members to support the scheme, even as the government also supports the scheme. He spoke very much about governance, which he, in his words, said has been a bit of an elusive flower to the people of Kenya. Issues of transparency. He spoke about how very prudent it is for managers of such schemes to remember that they manage is for the members and for nothing else. Remember, in compliance with the guidelines, the government established the contributory scheme for teachers, civil servants, and the discipline services personnel through enactment of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme, Pssf. But maybe you're curious, who are the members of this particular scheme and how is the scheme funded? As I mentioned earlier, every month, members of the scheme contribute at a rate of 7.5 of their basic salaries, while the government contributes 15% of the basic salary of every member of this scheme. And additionally, employees can make additional voluntary contributions to increase their savings. However, the government does not increase its contribution to match the additional voluntary contributions by the members. Once the contributions are received by the scheme, the trustees, in consultation with an investment expert or what we call a fund manager, direct the funds to assets which are expected to deliver optimal returns to the members. The choice of the assets is guided, and as we start with that one, the first one is an investment policy strategy, which is developed by an investment advisor appointed by the trustees. The second one is investments guidelines set out in the retirement benefits regulations, professional advice of an investment expert based on research of the available opportunities in the financial markets. Remember, professional advice goes hand in hand with the close of every financial year here, where the scheme determines the investment return. And as we look at these returns, as at 31 December 2023, the total asset value in these financial returns have been impressive thus far. Remember, we've just been taking you through the background in understanding this particular pension scheme. The Pssf, which, remember, since independence, the government had operated an non-contributory defined benefit pension scheme, which now necessitated by law the switch to Pssf. The scheme was established under the Pensions Act, Cap 189, and in compliance with the guidelines, the government established a contributory DC scheme for teachers, civil servants, and the disciplined forces. And if you're just joining us, we are live at the Public Service Superannuation Fund Annual General Meeting, which is also culminating to the strategic plan 2023-2027 that has just been launched by the chief guest, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Felix Koskei. Now, all employees in stated categories of public service who had not attained the age of 45 years as at 1st January 2021 were automatically enrolled in the scheme. And again, remember, what is interesting about the scheme is that it is one of the fastest growing schemes in the country, a whopping 100 billion plus in its kitty, which is only rivaled by the National Social Security Fund, and it is continuing to grow rapidly because it has 129 billion with only 400 members contributing to this fund. Now, the previous scheme which came in before this one government contribution to amass that kind of 100
part of the program, which is the AGM itself. And to start us off, we will have the CEO, Dr. Jonah Ayebe, reading the notice convening the meeting. Kindly, Dr. Ayebe, join me. Thank you. Dr. Ayebe, kindly join me for the reading of the notice convening of the meeting. Thank you. A round of applause for him.
Thank you very much, members. I will do the notice convening this second annual general meeting of our scheme, which was circulated, and I believe all of you do have. So notice is hereby given that the annual general meeting of Public Service Superannuation Scheme Fund will be held today, 7 June 2024, at the Kenya School of Government, and this is for discussion of the financial statement and report for the year ended 30th June 2023. The program of our AGM will be as follows. That's the agenda. We'll have opening prayers, reading of notice, which is ongoing, introductions, presentations of the chairman's report, remarks by the sponsor, confirmation of the minutes of the previous financial year, that is the 21-22, presentation of audit report for the financial year ended 30th June 2023, and the remarks by our service providers, the fund manager, custodians, and administrator, the remarks by the Retirement Benefits Authority, presentations on the report on remuneration of trustees, and thereafter it will have a question and answer session, and we close with a vote of thanks and prayer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ayebe, for that. I would like to invite the acting chairperson, Ms. Agnes Mwenda, for introductions as well as the presentation of the chairperson's report. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much. Before we continue, kindly let's have a proposer and a seconder of the agenda. That's already the CEO has changed. Yes, kindly say your name. Elizabeth. Elizabeth Akinyi has proposed the agenda. Thank you very much. Who is the seconder? Thank you. Your name? Victor Wanga has seconded the agenda. Thank you very much. As you are all aware, you have the annual report. You have the annual report for financial year 2023 up to June, the year that ended 30th June 2023. The chairman report by then is there in page 14. Since you have the report, allow me not to go in depth on it. You can go through it. But as of today, allow me to say that the scheme is going towards the right direction with the fund managers in place and the bond that is well constituted. As you have heard from the chief guest, in the next 10 days, we are going to have the chairperson of the board and we'll be able to continue serving you together. As at this particular point, allow me to announce that the membership has continued to increase. As you know very well, every new employee employed by the government of Kenya, national government, on terms of permanent and pensional basis, you automatically become a member of the scheme. So this has seen the scheme continue to grow, and as per now, the membership is high. Same with investment that has grown from where we started, month of January 2021. As of today, we are talking of over 120 plus. In fact, to be very specific, This is give a good clap to the employer. As I said in the morning, the employer is thinking good about the public service, that is the civil servants, teachers employed by Teachers Service Commission, and the National Police Service, Prison Service, and National Youth Service. All we need to appreciate is that, yes, gone are the days when public servants would work following for their pension, until some of them die before getting the pension. But as we are talking today, in line with the Public Service Superannuation Act 2012, number 8, the pension benefits are supposed to be given to beneficiaries within 30 days. And this we have continued to do, and we are trusting God that we are going to be able to start and better. Though the Constitution talks of 30 days, we are, with the team here, we are looking forward to be more efficient to surpass the member expectations by ensuring that we deliver the benefits even before the 30 days are over. We are working to realize the main reason, for the purpose of the pension scheme, why it was transitioned from the defined benefit scheme to a contributory scheme. This is so that the employer can ensure that your social security is safeguarded as you work. And even as you exit the service, you exit a honorable officer whose integrity is protected, a honorable officer who is to continue with the life and the quality life after you exit service. So it's allow me to stop there so that we can continue with the next part.
Now to move to the confirmation of minutes of the AGM for the financial year 2021-2022, and these will be presided over by the CEO, Dr. Yona Ayabe. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much. As online, you will note that these are the minutes of a meeting, the annual general meeting held on 30th June 2023. It's almost a year. The minutes were circulated, so you will allow me, Chair, and members to just take members on page by page of the affairs of the scheme. So during that meeting, the first page of it is purely the preliminaries, the attendance list. The second part of it was about reading the notice. Happy we have him today. He will also make his report. That was Mr. Kili, who is present again today. That is what we have on page 2 and page 3. And on the next page, we had the remarks by the sponsor of the scheme. We are delighted that today we received the remarks a little bit earlier through the permanent principal secretary, and he challenged the members to build a secure future for the members. There was presentation also by the trustees giving the highlight of the membership and the finance and the investments. On page number 5, members, there was presentation by the auditor to confirm the financial statements, and the auditor then, who was representing the Auditor General, was Mr. Samuel Mushiri, and on behalf of the Auditor General, he gave an unqualified report for the financial statements that were being discussed. There was also on the same page presentation by the fund manager, then represented by Mr. Steve Biko, that I'm glad is also even present today, and he gave out the fund manager's management were going on. There was presentation by the administrator, then presentation done by Mr. Jojo Kioma. I'm glad he's also present today, and he gave the contribution and the records position regarding the act. On the next page, that is page number 8, there were presentations by the then acting CEO, Alice Nyariki, and gave the details of how the surplus and, of course, the organization of the scheme. Thereafter, again captured in these minutes, on the same page 8, going all the way to page 9, was the presentation by the Retirement Benefits Authority, which was represented by Mr. Jackson Ngutu, who was representing the CEO, who reiterated that RBA will work hand in hand with the Board of Trustees to ensure success of the pension scheme. Then on page number 9, again, presentation of the administrator. Again, we had George Okioma giving the detailed presentation, and there was an agenda on questions and answers, which were answered and taken care by the Board of Trustees with the support of service providers. And finally, what is recorded was a vote of thanks from the Board of Trustees, and there was no other business which was discussed, and therefore the meeting was closed with a prayer. So these were the minutes signed off by the then chair of the scheme, Mr. Titus Ndabuki, and we present them to the members for one, confirmation, and if they are accurately representing what we discussed, and if there is any other issue that will arise, then you can also transact through that. So I have been advised to seek whether we can confirm the minutes as a true record of the deliberation of what transpired last year. Chair, I guess it can be done through proposal and second? Yes. Yes, we have your name, please. Thank you very much. Thank you for even confirming that the venue was KICC, not KSG. Seconder, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, please. Your name? Thank you very much. Somebody is taking record of the name. That's why we're insisting. We appreciate. So with the confirmation of the minutes, ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, I think we can now go back to if there is any matter arising. I have actually been asked by the chair also to get feedback from members. Basically, it is more about the business of that annual general meeting. But if there is one or two follow-up on matters arising, this is the opportunity before I bring back the chair. So to just confirm from my hand and the Board of Trustees, one of the key things that were discussed, we still have a continuity of the pension fund. That's why you see we have the board, we have the trustees. Matters arising in terms of sustainability and growth that we managed to capture from the Secretariat includes the fact that we continue to grow as a pension fund, and now the membership has increased from where we were last year to a level of 429,000. The scheme fund has also tremendously grown in terms of assets under management that are being managed by the fund managers, and it has grown from where we were last year, the details of which will be unveiled when we read the report on the financial statements, which is an agenda in today's meeting. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I will take it back to our acting chair of the day so that he can transact on the next agenda. Thank you.
Asante sana. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the heartbeat that has made us to be here. I'm very sure that each one of us is expectant to hear that or to know, now that the scheme contracted service providers, what is it that they have done? What is it that they have for us today? Are we really going to get the promise that we have? This is looking forward to ensure that as you exit in a honorable way. Pension package ready. And this pension package is going to consist of the employer contribution of 15% for the years since 2021. It is going to comprise of individual contribution that we've built since then, and of course, the income from investments that you'll have gotten as we continue to invest your money. So this is another good moment that we are going to hear providers have done. They have audited our books of account since 1st July 2023 up to date, and they are going to give us a report whether those accounts you are seeing, the report that you have, that the audit was done, and the let's not be mean with gloves. Thank you, thank you. Karibu sana. Thank you.
Acting Chair, I'm not the Auditor General. My name is Samuel Mushiri, representing the Office of the Auditor General. So my work here is very simple. It's just to read the report of the Auditor General, as was reported. So I now present the audit report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the Public Service Superannuation. It's just another way of saying a report of on the financial statements. We also issue a report on lawfulness and effectiveness in the use of public resources, and another one on effectiveness of internal controls, risk management, and governance. So all those three reports make up the report of the Auditor General. So I'll start with the report on the financial statements. I'll not read the entire report. Report on the financial statements, and I'll read as the Auditor General. I have audited the accompanying financial statements of the Public Service Superannuation Fund set out on pages 1 to 14, but I would want to give you an update in the reported, in the report that you have, the one that has been printed. Those pages have changed from 25 to 36. But the financial statements that we audited, the financial statements ran from page 114, which comprise of the statement of financial position as at 30th June 2023, the statement of financial performance, statement of changes in net assets, and the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. In my opinion, the financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of the Public Service Superannuation Fund as at 30th June 2023, and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with the International Public Sector Accounting Standards, accrual basis, and comply with the Public Finance Management Act 2012, Public Service Superannuation Scheme Act 2012, and the Retirement Benefits Act 1997, which was revised in 2020. So I now read the report on lawfulness and effectiveness in the use of public resources. As required by Article 2296 of the Constitution, based on the audit procedures performed, except for the matter described in the basis for conclusion and on lawfulness and effectiveness in the use of public resources section of the report, I confirm that nothing else has come to my attention to cause me to believe that public resources have not been applied lawfully and in an effective way. So basis for conclusion: unremitted pension employer contributions. The statement of financial position, and as disclosed in Note 16 to the financial statements, reflects a balance of Kenya shillings 6,843,431,620 in respect of receivables from exchange transactions. The balance includes an amount of 219,999,201 in respect of employers' contributions that remained outstanding as at, and please note the date, 31st July 2023. This was contrary to Section 8C of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme Act 2012, which states that not later than 10 working days after the end of the month in which the contributions are due, the government shall remit an amount comprising the members and the government's contribution to the custodian. In the circumstances, management or National Treasury management was in breach of the law. So, report on effectiveness on internal control, risk management, and governance. As required by Section 7(1)(a) of the Public Audit Act 2015, based on the audit procedures performed, I confirm that nothing has come to my attention to cause me to believe that internal controls, risk management, and overall governance were not effective. So we do not have a qualification under this report. So signed FCPA Nancy Gathongo, 18th December 2023. Once again, I thank the management for the cooperation they accorded to the auditors during the audit process. I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mushiri, representing the Director General. Now I'd like to invite the CEO, Dr. Ayabe, to take us through the section on service providers' remarks. Karibu sana.
Once again, I'm back. I think I also serve the members. So first and foremost, as a service provider, it's us who are actually giving all the service to all the members because we all exist as service providers. So Chair, in our midst, we have our fund managers who are the same who were there last year. Perhaps before I invite him, I want to appreciate Mr. Mushiri for making his remarks under agenda number 7. So we'll go by this order. We'll give the fund manager to just make a few remarks in a very short time to tell us how they've been running the scheme. We'll also have the 3 custodians, and since you are custodians of the same pension fund, the three of you will come forward at the same time and agree how you'll share your time. Then we'll have the administrator of the scheme, which I know the CEO is here with us, and I can see a number of his team are here, so they'll be able to guide on how we'll move on. So to begin with, our chair is, I want to invite Patrick Karaoke, or whoever is presenting Gen Africa, to come forward and make the remarks on behalf of the fund manager.
The Chair, Trustees, CEO, Regulator, Retirement Benefits Authority, fellow service providers, members, ladies and gentlemen, present of the Public Service Superannuation Fund, good morning. My name is Patrick Karaoke. I'm the Managing Director of Gen Africa Asset Managers. We are the fund managers of the Public Service Superannuation Fund, and I've come with a team that services your accounts, and we have others in the office. I'll kindly ask them to stand as I introduce them. We've got Mr. Steve Biko, who is our Chief Investment Officer, and I'm also accompanied by Muhammad Abdi, our Senior Investment Manager, and I'm also accompanied by Gaki, who is in our Client Service Department. Thank you very much. I would first like to congratulate the scheme trustees, the CEO and Secretariat on your second annual general meeting, and also more importantly, on the launch of your strategic plan. As we were guided by the Principal Secretary in National Treasury, now the challenge is to execute like a warrior, having planned it like a visionary. Just like to tell you briefly about Gen Africa before I invite my Senior Investment Manager, Mohamed Abdi, to very briefly tell you where your funds were invested at this date of the financial audit. Gen Africa is the largest and oldest serving fund manager in Kenya, having been established in October 1995, starting operations in May 1996, and we are privileged to serve your fund. Our role is to invest, but before we invest is to research where to invest the scheme funds in accordance with the investment policy statement given to us by the scheme trustees after they have received appropriate professional advice, and then to report back to them on how we are investing, and also to report to the Retirement Benefits Authority how we are investing, and then also to assist them with member education and empowering you as members in order to be able to save more and invest better. So currently, as at the end of May 2024, your fund is at now 129 billion, and we expect it to cross the 135 billion by the end of this current financial year, which will end on 30th June 2024. So I'll kindly ask my Senior Investment Manager, Mohamed Abdi, to come very briefly and just take you through, and once again congratulate the trustees and secretariat and my fellow service providers. Thank you.
Chair, Acting Chair, Board of Trustees, Ms. Agnes Mwenda, Trustees, CEO, Dr. John Aibe, Service Providers, distinguished guest members, all protocols observed, good morning. I'm Mohamed Abdi and work as Investment Manager with Gen Africa, and I'm your lead investment manager for the fund. And I'll very briefly walk you through the investment report. What you're seeing on your screen is largely the economic growth over the last couple of years, and you can see that for the period under review, the growth came in at around 5.6%, much higher than the 2023, which is around 4.9, largely driven by the agricultural sector. So we saw strong bounce back. If we to move into the next slide, again, I'll be very brief. Some of these highlights were given by the PS National Treasury. You can see in terms of the currency over the period under review depreciating by about 19%. We've seen that come back strongly. We touched a high of around 160, coming down to around 130. There are a number of interventions that the government have put in place. One is the refinancing of the Eurobond, which really played a big part in terms of removing a lot of the risk attached to the markets, and that really was one of the reasons. We also saw quite a bit of a strong inflow of money coming from foreign direct investments. We're expecting also money coming in from World Bank and IMF. So all that put together is putting our external position quite strongly, and our expectation is that the currency is likely to be stable over the next couple of months, with a bit of gradual depreciation as we get to end of the year. The next slide will be talking around the inflation, which again the PS talked about. I'll not really belabor the point, but the take home here is when we invest your funds, we make sure that ultimately the return we deliver for your accumulated benefits over the long term is able to maintain the purchasing power of your shilling. So that's really where we add value. So we need to ensure that whatever returns are posted over the long term is higher than the inflation level. Inflation has been around 6 to 7%, and over the long term we envisage to deliver higher than that level. The next slide talks around the cost of money, which is basically where the government is borrowing, and you can see between those two curves, June 2022 and June 2023, there was a significant increase in terms of interest rates, largely driven by the fact that the government came in strongly to borrow. And then if you to look at the next slide, we're talking of the markets. This is the offshore markets, which is stocks that are outside East Africa, which are represented by the blue bars, and then we have the red bar there, which is the Kenyan market. And you will note For the period we are talking about here, 2023, the stock market was negative 27%, largely driven by what was happening on the Kenyan shilling, as well as what was happening as far as interest rates. So with interest rates being very, very high, most investors were going into the fixed income space. And then with foreign investors, getting out of Kenya because of what was happening to the shilling, that really did have a double impact on the market. We didn't have exposure to this particular sector or this particular asset class, but we have now started to introduce that as part of our diversification strategy, and you will see along my slides some of the actions we've put in place. The good news is that the market has now recovered very, very strongly. Year to date, we are up close to 24%. If we move into now the numbers, the investment report for the period, you'll notice that the bulk of your money was sitting in bonds, which is about 90%, and about 8.1% sitting on T-bills. So pretty much no significant change compared to what we had in 2022, apart from the fact that we a bit reduced our allocation to bonds down and increase our allocation to T-bills. If we move now to the next slide, it will give you the snapshot around our position as at March. Of course, the value of the fund has grown. We were at around 116.3 in March. Right now, as we are speaking, we are very close to 130 billion. But you can see the very significant difference between those two periods, with the government securities now coming down, especially bonds coming down to about 68%. And you can see we've introduced equity or listed stocks now sitting at around 2.5. That has gone up to about 3.2 now. And you can see some offshore investments, largely the Euro bond, which is about 2%, and those are Euro bonds issued by Kenya. So we again are very alive to the fact that we need to align with the strong-term, with the long-term investment strategy for both the Kenyan country as the financial policy is concerned, as well as supporting where socioeconomically where need be. Again, you will see going forward, we will continue diversifying this into other sectors, and we are also guided by the long-term strategic plan that has just been launched today, and you'll see those very, very strong adjustments coming through over time, and we ultimately are alive to the fact that we are touching more than 400,000 members, which relates to about 2 million people, which basically means we are covering close to 5% of the Kenyan population. So that is a big responsibility that we don't take lightly, and we are privileged to be associated with the Public Service Superannuation Fund, and really we take the trust and responsibility bestowed on us very, very seriously. So as far as the last 9 months is concerned, very, very strong underlying returns, and our expectation is as at June this year, when we next meet for an AGM, you'll find that the fund has grown very substantially, and we've done a bit more on diversification, and the performance will be much stronger than what you've seen over the last 2 years. Thank you very much. I think that will be our report. I'll look to submit back to you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Jan Africa. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Mohammed. Once again, it's present that we are live on TV and so many other channels, and we are trying to manage the time that we have been allocated. So we are going to the next group, very, very critical function of managing a scheme. I want to invite our custodians to come over. We have, please make your way. We have custodians from the NCBA, Cooperative Bank, and Stanley. So I will give you the opportunity. Being very experienced people, they will know how to share the time. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lydia Mushiri. I'm from Cooperative Bank, and I'll also give my colleagues in the industry a chance to introduce themselves, then we take you through the presentation.
Good morning, members. Good morning once again. My name is Janet Waigoro. I'm here representing Stanbic Bank, one of the custodians. We are a bank headquartered in South Africa, with over 160 years. In Kenya, we've been around since 1911, and we are listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange through our holding company, Stanbic Holdings. Thank you.
Good morning, trustees. Good morning, members. My name is Eva Bore Mwangi from NCBA Bank. I'm the GM and head of the custody business there. NCBA, I would say, is one of the newest banks, having come together with the merger of previous legacy banks, NIC and CBA, and have been doing this business, providing custodial services for the last 20 odd years, 23 odd years, and we're happy to be of service to you. Thank you.
So I'm representing the 3 custodians. I'm not only representing Cooperative Bank, which, as you know, Coop Bank is the 3rd largest bank in Kenya. We've got over 9 million customers. So of the 420,000, you will find a majority are also customers of the bank. So as we represent the custodians, our report, first of all, takes you through what a custodian does. And in brief, a custodian is the banker to the scheme. And some of the roles that a custodian performs is safekeeping of the assets. So the assets that you've talked about, the government bonds, the equities, we hold them in safe custody in the designated accounts that each of the custodians have opened specifically for the scheme. The second thing that a custodian does is settlements, and by settlements we mean that when the fund manager decides that they are buying shares, we exchange the money and get the shares in that investments. When the coupons are paid by the government bonds and any of those other securities, the custodian collects. And finally, at the end, as a member, as you exit the scheme, when it's time for you to be paid your benefits, we pay you specifically to your account. So that summarizes what the custodian does. And our role here, you will see those numbers that are in the audited accounts. So we are here to confirm that the amount custody accounts, and you can see the numbers are projected there and are also the numbers that are in the audited accounts. So it's my pleasure to confirm to the members that your investments are safe and held by reputable institutions. Thank you.
You can imagine how safe our assets are if the lead custodians are all ladies and very experienced. So we are excited. So let's see the next team, whether we'll also have a mix of team. The next are the people we work very closely, the administrators of the scheme. I can see the CEO and top management of that organization are seated here. So, Bwana CEO, I don't know whether you would want to come over or your team member will make the presentation. Let's appreciate the CEO of CPF.
Thank you. Chair and trustees, members, distinguished guests, service providers, I'm Jamboni. Yeah, my name is Dr. Hosea Kili, the Group Managing Director and CEO of CPF Group. I have my team here. They all can stand. Oh, yes. I think that is Joseph Rono, the Group Executive Director. We have Okioma. Oh, sorry. Oh, they're here. The Director for Operations is in charge of this scheme. And then we do have Irene Bonge, who is the one who has assisted in organizing this event. She's in corporate communication. And we also have other officers in communication there. We also, yes, Solomon. Solomon is also in charge of this particular account. I can't see there. Oh, yes. Fadili, Aquapale. I think there are many more, but thank you very much. I would like to say a few things before I allow George Okioma to take you through the actual report. As the CEO said, we are the most immediate service provider who actually are delegated to work for the scheme, primarily by the trustees. We support the trustees and the secretariat in the performance of the very major activities of record management, keeping your records, make sure we have communications with the members, and also ensuring that all the reports which have been presented here today are done correctly, and of course submitted for audit if it is financial reports, and also submitted to Retirement Benefit Authority. I want to say that CPF, of course, is also an administrator, do pension funds in the counties, the local authorities pension trust, which is the oldest pension scheme, which was established almost the same time with the other scheme called the PS Public Service Pension Fund under Cap 189 of the laws of Kenya. In our case, it was established in 1929. So with that kind of long experience, it was very opportune for these trustees of this scheme to pick on us to assist them in onboarding and members, and also using our very elaborate systems of technology to ensure that members' records, those massive records, are kept safe and secure. I want to assure you, members, that your records are safe. We only want some additional information from you, which we would like you to communicate through the administrator and the secretariat to enable us to serve you better. I remember the chief executive said we have to be customer-centric. To be customer-centric, we need to have your contacts. If you want us to really serve you well, you need to share contacts. And there's a USSD code, which I believe we shall be able to show on the screen, which we should be able to use to communicate. And then from there, we'll be able to send you periodic information. And any questions you have can be handled by the administrator. We are spread all over. We have actual branch offices which you can actually go to. Any CPF offices in Kisumu, Garissa, Nakuru, Nyeri, Meru, Mombasa, and so forth are available for you wherever you are. You can actually visit them and get more information from those offices. You also are entitled to ask as many questions as you can, either today and also online. We are maintaining a social media presence here and through the YouTube channels, and you can send questions which can be answered by the trustees and all the other service providers. In addition, we ensure that you get your statements anytime you wish. It's not like the way it used to be before, where you could only get your statements, you can access our system. We would like that to avoid delays when it comes to settlement of claims, you provide all those information should always be with us. And we keep it very safe and secure. We have a data protection certification, so you can be rest assured that your data is well protected and preserved. I also want to say that we do have other benefits which your counterparts in the county governments are enjoying. For your counterparts in the county governments, they're already enjoying some of the benefits like post-retirement medical fund by actually communicating with the administrator, your wishes, and of course we'll ensure that this is done so that you can enhance your pension benefits at the end of your term. And with those remarks, I would like to request Okioma now to give you a fuller detailed report. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Acting Chair and Board of Trustees. Thank you so much once again for this opportunity, and congratulations again for this second AGM and the launch of your strategic plan. Chair, quickly, I'll just take you through a high-level summary. I think our CEO has already mentioned what our role is. We sit together and work together in collaboration with the Secretariat and the trustees to provide the services which are key, especially when it comes to a member exiting the organization. Whenever you are exiting, it's our duty to make sure that we facilitate that process from the onboarding stage to the exit stage. So we work together making sure that you are paid on time, including even the benefits, what we call death in service benefits. We make sure that your benefits are settled within the stipulated time. Just for your information, members, just to bring to your attention that during the year under reporting, We did have a number of claims which have since been settled on time. I think we have a summary which is also already shared. But also to bring to your attention that your annual benefit statements now are available. You can log into the website, which is already shown there under the PSSS. There's a portal that you can log in, put in your details the way you did last year. You can actually see your detailed statement showing the contributions as they came in and the income which the trustees declared. For your information, the scheme declared a return of 5.4%. Of course, a reduction from last year, and this is purely a matter of change in how the assets fared in the, in the investment landscape. And it's nothing to worry. But I think, as the fund manager indicated, there has been a huge, and there's a optimism that the tides is changing, and we look forward to even a better year, 2024. So yes, then we have provided a number of platforms. There is the USSD platform, which is the *378, where you can log in. And if you haven't registered, it gives you the opportunity to register such that you are able to update not only your personal information, but as well as your contact information. Remember, as our CEO mentioned, if we don't have information, then it will be difficult for you. You will be trying to access, but actually you will not be able to get in because you've not registered. So first things first, make sure you register because we know you're already a member. But if the *378 doesn't work for you, go to the website and you will be able to download your statement, which is updated with the contributions as well as the income. What you will see in the statement is your position as at 30th June 2023. It is not necessarily up to today. Remember, we are reporting for purposes of the audited period. But you still log in, you will see updated now contributions, where contributions have been updated to the current year. Every month when contributions come in, we update your register to make sure that we have an updated record for you. In terms of the number of claims, I think I'd mentioned, we paid so far, totaling 59 million, spread across all the three employers. That's how it is spread. But also to bring to your attention again, members, that please make sure you update your nomination of beneficiary details, such that in the event of you passing on, at least the trustees will have an easy time on whom to pay. Trustees would get a challenge, especially if you've not provided who is supposed to be paid your benefits in the event of your death. So please make sure that you update that regularly as circumstances around your life changes. So in terms of availability, we are spread across the country. We work together. The service is also available. The secretary and the trustees have made that service available, so they will do centers. But through our branches, we have a dedicated branch network team, but we also have our dedicated call center where you can call. Our call center makes sure that no call is dropped. Even if you call, you will always get a call back immediately. So we have 24/7 working call center such that members are able to be served, in case they have any challenges. Our head office is in CPF House on Haile Selassie. Please, you are always welcome to come in, but also across our branches in Mombasa, across the country, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nyeri, and Nakuru. We have branches there where you can actually walk in and get service. So to that brings us to the end of our presentation, and I want to thank you so much. Thank you. Over to you, Chair.
We are doing very well, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, there will be a session of question and answer. So if you have questions, you can put them down. We already have that has been forwarded to our Board of Trustees and the service of providers, and they'll be able to answer. So we are moving to the next agenda. I've actually been kindly asked by the Chair to invite our regulator. I don't know whether we have a representation, Retirement Benefits Authority. We comply to your rules, but thank you. Confirm to the members whether we are registered. Karibu.
the acting chairperson, and members of the Board of Trustees, the Chief Executive Officer of the scheme, Secretariat staff, distinguished members of the scheme, good morning. My name is John Kerr. I'm here on behalf of the Retirement Benefits Authority. Before I read some remarks, allow me to convey greetings from our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Charles Mashira, and the Scheme Officer, Mr. Bosco Gisheo. Let me start off by conveying our congratulations to the scheme for the launch of the strategic plan and wish you excellence in its implementation. It is a great day as we hold the second AGM for this scheme. I say great because of the achievements made in the year under review despite the transition challenges faced. In that breath, let me take this opportunity to welcome and congratulate the newly appointed as well as reappointed trustees of the board and urge them to carry on with this noble duty with dedication and selflessness. We also welcome the comments of the Head of Public Service assuring us that a chair will be appointed very soon. To the members of the scheme, this AGM is your day and presents an opportunity for you to get information on this scheme, interrogate the various reports, and ask questions. We encourage you to always take a keen interest in the scheme's affairs and to participate actively at such forums. To the service providers, we thank you and appreciate the role you play actively in the retirement benefit sector growth. Kindly endeavor to give excellent service to this scheme, in particular as fiduciaries, just as the trustees, and having in mind that we are overseeing benefits of civil servants who are dedicated to giving service to our nation. Our only gratitude and honor to these valiant servants is to ensure that their benefits are not only preserved, but that they get the maximum value in their returns. The RBA is the regulator of the Kenyan retirement benefits space, and we undertake our mandate specifically to ensure that your interests as members are well protected. We do this by ensuring that we regulate and supervise your scheme on a continuous basis. We also facilitate growth of the sector, and we've seen the sector grow in leaps and bounds. Your scheme is just one of 1,041 schemes registered in Kenya. The 129 billion that represents your scheme assets is part and parcel of the 1.7 trillion the sector holds. And we've also seen growth in terms of membership. No doubt your 400 and over 1,000 members comprise part and parcel of the over 3 million active members. In this context, your scheme stands tall amongst the schemes registered in Kenya. Now, with respect to compliance, your scheme is fully complied with the provisions of the Retirement Benefits Act. And we want to sincerely thank the sponsor, which is the government of Kenya, on ensuring that contributions are remitted on a timely manner. It's a challenge we are currently facing, particularly in the public sector in Kenya at the moment, where we see that contributions are not remitted in time. But in this regard, we want to commend the government of Kenya and all the stakeholders for doing a good job. I want to thank the trustees for the prudent management of the scheme this far. More importantly, I want to thank members for embracing the new scheme and making contributions to the scheme faithfully. The authority's current vision is an inclusive and secure and growing retirement benefit sector. We remain committed to this vision and promise to continue working efficiently in partnership with you trustees and our stakeholders to steer this noble sector to greater heights. I want to encourage members to engage with the authority and hold us to account as we supervise and manage your scheme. We want to uphold the promise that the acting chair made that we shall oversee their timely payment of their benefits from the schemes as provided under the Retirement Act. Lastly, just a word to encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, that we are on a journey to retirement, and every second, every minute retirement gets closer. Retirement is not an end, but a gateway to the next exciting, relaxing phase of life. It is the beginning of more possibilities, personal growth, freedom, and dreams. To get there, we must work hard, we must sacrifice, we must plan, ask questions, be informed and inquisitive about our scheme and its operations. To this end, the authority will be glad to participate in any retirement planning and member education sessions organized by the trustees for the members. In conclusion, I once again wish to congratulate the scheme for the launch of its strategic plan and holding this second AGM. Asanteni sana, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those powerful remarks. The authority has given their speech with authority. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I hand over to the trustees to take over the remaining part in terms of agenda number 10, which is the remuneration of the trustees, I take note that I also forgot to introduce the team from our Pssf fund that really worked hard to make this a success and that we are serving. So at this juncture, I want to ask the members of staff, wherever they are, to rise up so that at least it will not be seen that it is service providers and the CEO alone. Please. So we have all of them seated here. We appreciate, I appreciate the effort you are putting to make the role and, of course, serving members efficiently and coordinating with service providers. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been asked by the chairman, the chairperson of the Board of Trustees, to invite Trustee Kevin Anyor to preside over agenda number 10, and thereafter the chair will take over. So, Trustee.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, CEO. Mine is very brief. My instructions are that I present to you the trustees' remuneration for the year 2022-2023, and I've been given a statement to read, and I will do exactly that. Regulation 7G of the Retirement Benefits, Occupational Retirement Benefit Schemes, Regulation 2000, states that every scheme shall have rules which shall provide for the remuneration of trustees. In addition, Section 18 of the Pssf Act, number 12 of 2012, states that the chairman and the trustees shall be paid such sitting allowances or other remuneration for the expenses as the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning may, from time to time, approve. The trustees are paid allowances for attending quarterly board meetings, committee meetings, or special board meetings, and other meetings, including annual general meetings. The trustees are currently remunerated at a gross sitting allowance of $28,000 per trustee. We confirm that the remuneration rate falls within the current range of compensation for the schemes of similar fund value, number of trustees, and levels of complexity. The amounts paid out during the year are captured in the signed financial statements. I just want to add one sentence that the 28,000 is before tax, and it is taxed according to the KRA rates of taxation. Thank you very much. I therefore want to take this opportunity, because the next session is where the rubber meets the road, questions and answers. I want to evade those questions and invite the chair of the board to preside over that session. Chair, you're welcome.
Yeah, good morning once again. I believe strongly there's none of us who is tired, but you're attentively listening because this is your day to engage the trustees, to engage the service providers, and you go back when you are informed person to share the same messages with the bigger population that is not here. Again, I want to appreciate our online viewers. Thank you for the time that you have spent there. We are almost coming to an end of this session. Before we continue, as I said earlier, you've received the reports from various service providers. You received the report, very key, from the Auditor General concerning your financial statement. If this report was disqualified, then it could be another story altogether, because it could mean that your finances are not being managed well. But we appreciate the work the team has done. It is a teamwork, not an individual work. That is why the report is unqualified. So we appreciate that. As we continue, let's have a proposer and a seconder of that report for adoption. A proposer? Hello? Thank you. Your name? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As proposed, the financial report. A seconder? Let's have someone to second. Thank you very much. Your name? Julius? Good. Thank you very much. The report has been proposed by Velma and seconded by Julius as a true copy. Thank you very much. Then the next one, we have received a presentation or a report of trustee remuneration, and the trustee has explained it very well. It is in line with the regulation or the guidance from National Treasury, and it is within the regulations, also the advice from Retirement Benefits Authority. All we want to say is that yes, we are managing your finances in terms of billions. But remember, what we need to do is that to ensure that there is minimal expenses so that at the end of it all, the members can have a good package to take home. So on the same note, again, let's have a proposer and a seconder. Someone to propose? Proposer? A proposer? A proposer? Thank you very much. Let me start with you. Your name, please. Victor Wanga as proposed, second by?
Sami Kohome.
Sorry?
Sami Kohome.
Thank you very much, Sami Kohome. So the trustee remuneration report has been proposed by Wanga and seconded by Sami Kohome. Thank you very much. Allow me to say that once we started planning for this AGM, we engaged our members online and they raised a number of questions. So before we engage you, the ones who are physical here, allow me to go through very fast the questions that were sent to us via online. Then we'll have a few minutes to engage you in case there is a question you have that will not be addressed from what we have here. Okay? The first question the member was asking, what will happen to my past service now that I've been transitioned to public service superannuation scheme? Your first service, yes, as at 1st January 2021, most of the officers who are serving the government in the owned defined benefit scheme. And as January 2021, all those who are under 45 years, it was mandatory they were transitioned to the new scheme. The assurance we want to give you today is that all the years you had served, they will not go into loss. The government, the board has involved an actuary who is going to do the calculations of the years that each individual had served, and the same will be paid as the next package of your pension as accrued benefit. Remember I said public service superannuation scheme is entitled by the Act to pay you your pension based on your individual contribution, employer contribution, and income from investments. Then you also get from the employer your accrued benefits from the years that you served before transition. The next question is, how can I access my member statements? This one has already been explained very well by scheme administrator. All I can emphasize is, kindly let us serve you better, and we'll be able to do this when you help us to serve you better. These are tripartite relationship, where the board of trustees has a responsibility, the fund, the scheme service providers have a responsibility, and you as a member, you also have a responsibility to ensure that in documentation, your data is with the scheme administrator. So you do your responsibility very well by ensuring that if you have not nominated your beneficiaries, kindly do it. This is going to give the administrator his time to help serve you and give pension within the specified 30 days as per the Act and as per the regulator regulations with RBA. If your data, your documentation is not okay, then this may cause unnecessary delays in tabulating your pension. Again, this is not going to be a blame to the fund administrator. It is not going to be a blame to the trustees, because the trustees have to take time to do due diligence, to practice their fiduciary responsibility to ensure that they find out, do groundwork to ensure that they give beneficiaries to the right person. Because when you cannot, when you breathe your last, then it means it is the responsibility of the trustees to find out who is the rightful beneficiary. So to give these people easy time, to give trustees easy time, ensure that you do your responsibility. Ensure that you nominate your beneficiaries. This will help us to surpass the expectation of giving you pension within 30 days. We can reduce it by far if you do your task. Another question from the member is, why are there missing contributions in my statement? Again, allow me to say this. With the support of service providers, it has been a journey. This is the 4th year since the inception of the scheme. You remember very well, when you're starting or when you're starting a new project, there are those teething problems that you have to address with the time as you continue. But I have good news for each one of us this morning, that we have engaged together with the fund administrator. We have human resource that we have employed recently to work on the member data to ensure that contributions are up to date. They are working hand in hand with the fund administrator to ensure that at click of a button, you are able to see your updated contributions. This is, we've already given them a timeline of a 3-month timeline to ensure that member information, member contributions, both from employer and the member, they are up to date. The next question is, what will happen to my WCPS contributions now that they ceased being deducted with the inception of PSSS? This is a good question. What happens to your WCPS contributions? They are not going to go into loss, but upon retirement, you're going to get also calculation on the same, and your contribution as the point where you transition to public service pension scheme, you are going to get your WCPS contributions that you are deemed up to that point. So there is no single coin from the member that is going to get lost, both from accrued years that you served and from WCPS. And the last question reads, the last question is, how long does it take to claim for a claim to be paid? This one is already answered. The Act stipulates within 30 days, but this team here is promising you, together with the administrator, that if you ensure that your records are up to date, we can surpass this requirement by ensuring that the members get their pension even before the 30 days elapse. Last but not least, I'll take this opportunity to give a chance to another person who may have a question. And this small paper that I have here, there are some members that have been told they wanted to ask questions, but they were not able to ask online. Do we have someone by name Janet Musungu in the room? Janet Musungu? Anyone by name Janet Musungu? Thank you, madam. You had a question to ask? Welcome. A microphone for her. An extra microphone for, oh, thank you, madam. As Janet Musungu asks a question, let's also have Christabel Asimia, hey, my good God. Christabel and Asimana. Christabel Asimana, prepare your question as we finish up with Janet. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you. As indicated earlier, my name is Janet Musungu. Very briefly, madam, how can I know that my savings are protected? And the emphasis is on how. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Janet is asking, how can I know that my savings are protected? The Public Service Superannuation Scheme operates within laid down regulations by Public Service Superannuation Act 2012, number 8. This board operates purely guided by law. At the same time, we reference the regulator and guidelines set by the regulator, that is Retirement Benefits Authority. We have board of trustees that are drawn from various member representing sectors. As for the introduction in the morning, all the groups are represented and represented very well. So it is the responsibility of board of trustees to ensure that they lead the management team, they lead the service providers in the right direction, guided by the land policies that are in place to ensure that member contribution, member pension is safe and protected. Right? Question from Christabel Mina. Christabel, thank you. As Christabel asked the question, let's also have Ndalacha Njaso also prepared with this question. Then Mwanamvua Abdallah will be the next. Yes, Christabel?
Thank you, Madam. I'm Christabel Ashama. My question is, will there be a payment of lump sum and monthly pension in the PSSS scheme? And for how long will the monthly pension be paid? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Allow me to call upon Mwithi to respond to that question. Trustee Mwithi, who represents Kupet. Come and respond to that question, kindly.
Good morning. I don't know whether it's morning or afternoon. Thank you for turning up this good number. Let me go straight to the question. There will be a lump sum. At the end, you get 1% of your saving, and then later you are going to be paid the monthly contribution until you maybe you leave this world. And this one is going to be calculated as per actual report.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Trustee Mwithi. As he has put it correctly, at the end of your service to the employer, you'll get your pension at the end of your pension, and the remaining amount, you'll be getting it on monthly basis, which is you can get it as a annuity that you can purchase at the end of it all. So at the end of it, you get a lump sum of a third. The rest you get on a monthly basis as annuity. We have Abdallah, thank you. Gentlemen in the room, they don't want to ask questions. I'm coming back to you, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Mwanamvua Abdallah, and I wanted to ask about the benefits between the old scheme and the new scheme. And why is it that 45 years and below isn't voluntary?
Thank you, Abdallah. 45 years and below is not voluntary. As at January 2021, it was mandatory for the public service personnel that were below 45 years. It was compulsory for them to join. Those that were above 45 years, there was a window period of 3 months that were supposed to make a choice. Do I want to belong to the DB defined benefit scheme, or I want to belong to the contributory scheme? So it was not mandatory for those that were above 45 years. Again, remember, in my opening remarks, I said and emphasized that this is a move by employer to ensure that your social protection, and also to reduce old age poverty. With the old scheme, it was a heavy burden for the employer. It was a heavy burden for the government to be able to sustain that kind of wage bill at the end of every year when public servants are retiring. So to ensure that they take care of integrity of the public servants, they came up with a contributory scheme whereby you are paying 7.5, you're contributing 7.5, and the employer is contributing 15% of your basic salary. Again, there is an open window that you can go above that by doing additional voluntary contribution. This is to enrich your package again upon exit. It is a government regulation. It is a policy that is entrenched in the Public Service Superannuation Act 2012 that we transition members of public service who are below 45 years as at January 2021. This includes civil servants, this includes national police, this includes prison service and national youth service, including all the civil servants in the country. Thank you. The last question, we are getting it from Florence Nanjala. Florence Nanjala. Are you in the room? Florence Nanjala? Florence Nanjala? Thank you, Florence.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
My question is about the counties. Most of the counties, as I work in pension section, most of the support staffs, of which they are below job group D, you find that they were being confirmed in the counties. They come to our office claiming that they want their pensions. And of that case, as atu venye huwa tunafanya yani, any support staff is qualified for pension if he or she is below, he is above job group E. But you find that an officer is job group D as a support staff and he claims that he wants his pension. How do we do about that?
Thank you, Florence. Allow me to say that for the county employees, the membership to the Public Service Superannuation Scheme is only the officers that were devolved to the county by the national government. The employees of the county, they are not members of Public Superannuation Scheme, only those that were devolved. So that question, we may not be able to answer it from this end as Public Service Superannuation Scheme Board, but engagement with the county management, county leadership. Thank you. There is, the administrator is here, can respond to that. Through CPF, they're also taking care of the county. Welcome, CEO. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, because we, as I said, we also manage the pension fund for counties. I want to answer the question in that there is no discrimination for any employee in joining the county pension fund. And if there is any member who has not been allowed to join, they are welcome to go to any of our branch offices and actually sign forms for membership to the county pension fund. Secondly, you can also go to their website and also join, download a form and join. and you'll be a member as soon as immediately. We also do not even discriminate even those employees who are on contract service but they are not being given gratuity. They can opt out of gratuity and join pension. So in counties, there is no such discrimination, and I confirm that because we have so many thousands of members who are members of the county pension fund. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO, for shedding light on that. Yeah, that is a very good response. So I think, Madam, your question is very well answered. From the Public Service Superannuation Board, we are not able to cover the county employees, but the employees that were devolved by national government to the county, those are our members. They are taken care of by Public Service Superannuation Scheme. But as the CEO has put it very correct, there is still light at the end of the tunnel for the employees working at the county through CPF. From my hand, there is no other question, but this is now another good moment for the members in the room to ask questions. Yeah, this is the opportunity. I'm going to reach out to all of you. The person with the microphone, kindly start with the gentleman there. We've heard from ladies for long. Let's take care of boy child.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Daniel Siengo. I wanted to ask 2 questions. One is, I have seen this is a great business, and you are about to make a lot of money with this business. So I'm asking, how occasionally, how progressive, you review the benefit that members will be getting at the end of this scheme. Number 2, I must agree that we don't live in isolation. There is a grapevine that is surrounding us and is moving around about retirement, and when people who have retired, when they will get their dues. There is a grapevine that is saying people will retire at 55. It is not formal, it is informal communication. And after retiring at 55, maybe they will have to stay for 5 years to wait for their benefits. So as an organization, or as a board of trustee, having been encouraged to be members-centric, how do you view that? Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Let's get another 1 or 2 questions, then I'll ask. Okay. I'll ask, yes, kindly your name?
Thank you, Madam. I'm back again. Huh?
Yes.
Pengine swali yangu, the clarity, I didn't get it well. Mm-hmm. You've said you're paying me a third of my money, my savings, after I've retired. Huh? Kwa hivyo lump sum hakuna. Hii pesa yangu yenye nimesave, you'll just pay me a third of it.
One third of your pension you will be paid as
a
lump sum. The rest you'll be getting on monthly basis as pension or as
What if I want the whole? What if I want it?
We have to operate as per the policy.
Sasa
that is the heart.
Mi naona unanifinya sababu the old scheme, I rather go back to the old scheme. Because guys, in the old scheme, huyu mtu aja contribute, analipwa the lump sum, na monthly analipwa mpaka kufe. Lakini sasa hii yangu, unataka tena kunibudgetia nisha retire. You want to give me 1/3, and then again, hiyo pesa the same amount, you want to unigawie kila monthly small. Sioni kama ni mzuri sana na mimi.
Allow me to say that, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Allow me to welcome the fund administrator, that is John Okioma, to respond to that question. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Member. What happens in the scheme you are in? It's called the Defined Contributory Pension Scheme, meaning that the contributions you are making, they keep earning interest until the time you exit, either on death or resignation or on retirement. Upon retirement, as the Chair has mentioned, if, for example, you have saved 3 million, 1/3 of 3 million will be paid to you as cash. That is 1 million, all right, as a cash lump sum. Then 2/3 of that, which is 2 million, will be paid to you in form of an annuity. An annuity is basically regular payments, what you could call pension in payment. So every month, that 2 million, we will purchase, the scheme will purchase on your behalf a monthly pension, which will be paid to you every month. For example, the 2 million can buy you around 20,000 every month. So that 20,000 will be paid to you every month for so long as you are alive in retirement. I hope that clarifies. So that's how the scheme is structured. So you cannot then, let me get to your attention. So the scheme does not provide that the entirety of your savings, for example, 3 million, is paid to you. So the scheme, that's how the scheme is structured. Okay? And it is consistent with the expectations also which were in the old scheme. Remember, people who have retired currently under the old scheme, those who are over 45 or who are over 45, remember when they retire, they also get a cash lump sum and also a monthly pension. So the government made sure that there is that consistency which is going through. It's just that the structures are different. So that is how it is structured. And so there's no room that now you can change. The only way that can be changed is through a legal means. Chair, if you permit, I can also add there's another question. The question as to whether, what are the trustees doing to regularly review? Please do not confuse this scheme with the old scheme. In the current arrangement, what you are putting into the scheme is known, is contributions from your side, which is 7.5% of your salary, and the government puts 15%. The only way that is being revised is only through salary revisions. So whenever there is a salary review, your contributions also automatically, they go up. And so does your benefit, which will be paid at retirement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate George. Thank you very much. As we continue taking questions, kindly let's contain ourselves within the policy and guidelines. Let's not bring questions concerning rumors. Let's ask questions that are within the Act or that are within the regulations. That one will be able to respond to them very accurately. Who has the microphone? Up there? Yes. We are coming to you. This is your day. We are not going to close anyone out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair. My name is Victor Wanga.
Yes, Wanga.
I am a teacher representing the majority, that is the 244,982. Before, we had a deduction called WCPS. We used not to pay for NSSF. But when I look at my slip today, I'm seeing Provident Fund, there is NSSF. So how are the two funds going to be managed? What will be the role of NSSF? Will it be paid differently from this? And the funds that we paid before, especially now people in the category of 45 years and below, is this money being transferred to the new scheme, ama iko mahali? So we would want to know, and so that we don't have many schemes on our payslip and we do not know what we'll end up at to protect the majority who are the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To respond to that, I would urge ourselves not to confuse NSSF, Public Service Permission Scheme, because these are two different schemes with different mandates. NSSF is a statutory regulation for every Kenyan to contribute towards that. It covers all Kenyans. But the Public Service Permission Scheme, the regulations are again contained in Public Service Permission Scheme Act 2012. That is very specific to the group that we are covering, that is teachers, civil servants, and disciplined personnel. Nevertheless, upon retirement, as you were to get your package from Public Service Permission Scheme, the same, you'll get your contributions and employer contributions that you have been contributing to NSSF. Clear? About Provident Fund, again, the team is here. That is still a pension arrangement, and they're also going to ensure that they remunerate their members as per the contributions made to them. Any other question? Questions are so many, yes. Is it possible you write them so that my trustees can have time here? Please write them down. You have a book and a paper. To avoid the microphone reaching that far, write them down so that they can come in front. Kindly, kindly, kindly. And I'll just assign them to the board of trustees. Is it okay? Okay, you can now ask your question.
Yes, thank you. My name is Pius Zakayo.
Yes, Pius.
I have two questions.
Welcome.
I understand WCPS has been absorbed to Pssf. Formerly or initially, it was a bit discriminating because only male officers were contributing. Is it going to be the same? Number two, when a retired officer dies, the wife used to enjoy the benefits for maybe 5 years, and it is disconnected. What about this one? How are our spouses when we go? Will they enjoy for only 5 years, or how will it be treated? Thank you.
Thank you very much. From the Public Service Pension Scheme Act, upon the means of the principal member, the calculation is given, is done, and a lump sum is given to your beneficiary. There is no monthly benefits that the beneficiary will get, but a lump sum is calculated and given to the beneficiary. Again, this is taking us back to the emphasis that we are putting. Let each one of us ensure that we have the right beneficiaries in that nomination form. The other question was, sorry? Is first equation? What was your first equation? WCPS. What if you had received the lump sum? What the provisions in the Act, that is Public Service Pension Act, as at 1st January 2021, all the people, all the officers that were contributing to CPS, that stopped. Remember, when this scheme commenced, again, we didn't go straight to the officer's payslip for them to start contributing the 7.5% immediately. The board of trustees, and to stagger it, to ensure that we don't abandon the members' payslip. I am a public officer. I know at times how the state of our payslips can look like. So to avoid engaging and abandoning the officers, this was staggered in 3 phases. The first year, that is 2021, the contribution from the member payslip was 32%. Then the second year, that is 2022, the contribution was increased to 5%. And as at 1st January 2023, the contribution now is at full limit, that is 7.5%. So the question I'm answering is, why did the Act stop WCPS? It is stopped, but all the contributions that you had made as at 1st January 2021, upon retirement, you'll get all those calculations. All this was done so that the new scheme, the contributions, members can participate in it actively. Another question? Oh, thank you for writing those questions. Thank you very much. But still, I can get one more question. Yes, give him the mic.
My name is George Ibore.
Yes, kindly ask.
I have a question on those who are devolved staff.
Those who what?
Devolved staff.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of them, specifically for those who are employed in 2013, they were devolved without any scheme. During the time, or rather when we didn't have this Pssf, these members were applying to join, including CPF, they were denied a chance, and there was a period that they were not under any scheme. What become of those years? Will it be a loss, or what will be? Secondly, what is the procedure of one becoming a Pssf member? Because some of us, we found ourselves in Pssf without an application, and we didn't fill any form. Is it you apply first, because that's what happened with the CPF. Do you apply first for you to become a member or not? We have, last year we asked a question about training. Do you sensitize members to become members of Pssf, and where do you do it? Because I represent over 4,000 clinical officers who do not know, and they have never known about Pssf, but they are members. Because benefit is only benefitable if you know about it.
Thank you very much. Allow me to respond to your second question. And the first question, I'll throw it to the administrator, the CPF. I'm not throwing it to the CPF as the administrator of PSSS, but I'm throwing it to administrator as CPF, County Pension Fund, right? So allow me to say that for membership in Public Service Superannuation Scheme, there was nothing for those below 45 years. It was compulsory in line with the Public Service Superannuation Act 2012, number 8. Every officer that employed on permanent and pensionable basis terms, as 31st January 2021, it automatically became, you transition from the old pension arrangement to the new pension contributory pension arrangement by the employer. It was mandatory. Those that were below 45 years, you just saw yourself in the scheme because it was in line with the regulations. But those that were above 45 years, as at January 1st, again, there was a window period of 3 months that the persons were supposed to make an informed decision whether to join the scheme, the new contributory scheme, or to remain in the old defined benefit pension arrangement. Those who volunteered to join, they are members of the scheme. About information, each one of us has a responsibility. The board, the administrator, plus the management team, each year they have been organizing sensitization forums. Majority of the members, they are aware of where we have come from, where we are, and where we are ending as a scheme. Nevertheless, if there is a group that has not been sensitized, again, because this is a continuous process every year, then we can link up with the team and they can get the information from the management, from the administrator. Thank you very much. Allow me to welcome the CEO to go through the questions that have been written, so that, but in case there's another officer who has a burning question, we will take one question from one officer here with the assistant from the interpreter. Then we will be able to continue with the rest. So let me welcome the CEO. After the CEO, we take the question from her. Then we take 1 or 2 questions that will be left, come if there will be any, and then we come to the end of the session. Otherwise, thank you very much for listening. May the Lord bless you.
Another round of applause for our chair. I now know why Trustee Kafin, who is a lawyer, did mention that let the questions not come to him. It's very rare to get lawyers shying off from questions, but for today, I understand that this is another arena. Ladies and gentlemen, we have received dozens and dozens of questions. We have been trying to see how to share them. Luckily, they are written. I think the most important thing is they have been written. It ranges between when will my contribution rate of 7.5% increase? How sure am I that I'll get my funds? How quick should I be able to be paid? Among many, many, many others. So on consultation with my employers, the Board of Trustees here, we have come up with a better approach that all these written questions, we will consolidate all of them, and please trust us because you have also trusted the trustees, and respond through our online portal. We'll be able to put them even in our website. Questions, we'll have a section called Questions Raised at the AGM. And I want to believe that much of these questions were not personal. You are speaking on behalf of other members. So it will also be good to be answered for all of them. Otherwise, if we are to go through, Trustee Weeks here in Jenga was telling me if we answer everything and we are likely to be here until beyond lunch, and I think it may not be of good for all of us. So do we agree that we answer, we take all of them, we hand over? Please, if you are still thinking that your question will not be reached, please spend some few of time, write it down, we'll consolidate it all, and we'll be able to respond. And the chair still has the last say on this. Yeah, the chair says that it is a democratic AGM. Should you want that we go through all of them now, we can still do it. I think she said they are available. Or do we have a consensus to answer through Facebook, Twitter, which is always live, and the website? So how do I propose? I wish I was the speaker. Will as many of which opinion? So I have to have an opinion. You know, Keely knows these things. So which one do we go first? Do we say, which one? So which will as many of those supporting that we answer online say yes? Yes. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? So we will ask, I don't know who will give the vote. So I think the ayes have it. Please bring your questions. We will not be answering alone. We will take the input of our fund managers as well. Is that okay? You can imagine the number of papers which are coming up here. So thank you very much for that. Chair, I think that settles. We will respond through online media channels. Unless there is a member, again speaking on behalf of the chair, who believes that he or she will not leave this place until it is answered, we can still give you an opportunity. And I can see one. But please ask the chair.
Yes, just ask that question.
Thank you very much.
We are burning one.
My name is Samuel Kamau.
Yes, Kamau.
I think mine, it will not be good if I go before it is answered.
Sure.
And some of my members, maybe, members need to know. I heard the trustee said that they are paid 28,000 in every meeting they sit, even the annual. This one, like the way we are here, they are going to be paid 28,000. Now, my question is, the first one, this 28,000, is it coming from my contribution that I'm contributing every month? Or is it coming from the tax that the government is collecting? That's one. The second question, if they have come to this meeting, they are being paid 28,000. Me as a member, how much am I going to be paid today? If I'm not going to be paid, then you as the chair show me the benefit of me contributing this amount of money, in that even if I attend this meeting, I'm not going to be paid. The second question.
Is it the second
Oh, the
or
third,
the fourth?
sorry. The third question.
Yes.
Okay, the third question. This new scheme, it has principles and laws which is governing it. And even my friend here has asked a question. You have said we have to follow the principles and the laws which are governing this scheme. Now, we as members, when will these principles or authority be reviewed, so that we as members can give views and say whether the scheme is working on us or is working on the government? Is there any opportunity for the members to give their views, either after 1 year or 2 years? Because this is the second year you are, I think from what I know, this is the second meeting on this new scheme. Or there is no any chance so that members can, because it is a scheme that that was brought to us. So tujue kwamba tutaumia mpaka tukufe. Hakuna kingine tabadilika. So that if there is no any change or there is no any views that members can give, ndiasikizwe for the scheme to go on. All members watavumilia mpaka siku ya mwisho.
Thank you very much. The question, where you are asking whether members will be given a chance, is answering your last question. Every year, NGM is in the regulator's calendar of events. It is entrenched in the public service superannuation scheme.
Are currently saving for their retirement, and the retirement benefits industry in Kenya is holding 1.7 trillion shillings in total. Kenyans, this means that 7 out of 10 of savings for people will only benefit those that are able to save in this 1.7 trillion shillings. You have been watching the Public Service Superannuation Fund here live on KBC Channel 1 here at the Kenya School of Government in Lower Kabete, where the annual general meeting has been ongoing. And we also earlier had the launch of the strategic plan, the 2023-2027 plan that was launched by the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, Felix Kosgei. You have been watching live here, and we appreciate your viewing since morning at 8 a.m. We ask that you continue enjoying the rest of your viewing as we take you back to Broadcasting House. My name is Alan Aoko. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Poverty in retirement. The government wants to ensure you maintain your dignity as you serve today, and upon retirement, the community where you'll go back, they will still respect you and treat you with dignity, because you'll be living good life as a retired officer, because you love your pension. So if we say your contribution, the employer contribution, when you are doing sensitization, when you are having NGM, both the physical and online, we be paying members, then the objectivity of the pension scheme will not be achieved. We are not going to achieve the objective, kindly. Those are 2 questions. The other question was what? There was another question? Allowance? Allowance, I've already said it is in the Act, and when we our member, we cannot go and leave the person who has a question to ask, so that we can respond to that one immediately. Welcome, madam.
Good afternoon. My name is Crispin Were. I want to thank you very much, Pssf, this wonderful meeting. And I want to ask one question about persons with disability. Are we also included in this pension scheme or what? Like, for example, I'm working with the Ministry of Mining and State Department.
I think you'll need to be here so that we can start responding to that. Our scheme is all-inclusive to all persons, including people with whatever the nature of disability, and our good government has given provision that their retirement age is not the normal retirement for every other person. For persons with challenges, they retire at the age of 65, and that is well taken care of in our scheme as well. Thank you. Now, again, we have for the online members, we have around two minutes before it goes off, and we really want to appreciate that they also participate. Thank you very much for your very good feedback. Thank you, Chair, for answering those tough questions. Just to mention is that we also do member sensitization. We have started together with the administrator, we did this year, and the group that we are reaching out are the people from the National Police Service and the teachers that we are planning this month and the month of July. So all these other feedback we'll be able to get from those particular forums as well. And again, as we said, we have opened quite a number of channels, and we'll be more than happy to communicate. In terms of remuneration, I think it has been addressed. It is coming out of investment income, not actually the actual contributions, but as a discussion that can also be answered on the online response. So with all those many remarks, ladies and gentlemen, if we can allow that, we appreciate those people who have raised fundamental questions. No question is less than the other. There is a gentleman who wants to move the vote of appreciating everyone. Over to you.
I think I was given this mic to ask a question, which is burning in my heart, because I've heard it being said that at the end of it all, someone will be paid, a pensioner will be paid a third of his savings upon retirement. Then 2/3 will be paid on monthly basis until he dies. And this being a contributory fund, supposing a pensioner dies within a few months upon retirement, and he has contributed his money, what becomes of his money?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think that was well repeated. Now, Okioma did mention, I think, our administrator, that we use an example of your accumulated savings at the time of exit, what you have contributed, what the employer has contributed, and the interest therein. All sum total becomes 3 million. At the point of retirement, you take a third, which is 1 million. The 2 million is not a drawdown arrangement. So what happens in this arrangement is that as you are buying this annuity, you are declaring whether you have a spouse or whether you have children or whatever. So in the unlikely event that you pass on soon thereafter, then the person, you buy a life pension for your spouse. So the spouse takes over for the rest of the life. If you also didn't have children, for example, or you have the option, you can buy what we can call a guaranteed period of pension to be paid, say for a period of 10 years upon your demise. So you are not going to lose anything because it's the funds and that account that will be used to buy the annuity. I hope it's clear. Thank you. So again, you still have the mic? You could have moved to appreciate everyone, but now that you gave out the mic, and I can see that he's excited. So ladies and gentlemen, it is the joy of my life to have presided or to have been part of this team to see these discussions, open discussions. We are very open. These are your funds. get feedback and to have questions, because it shows the level at which members appreciate the investment. We will do the much we can to ensure that we deliver value for your membership. With all that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the next session, which will take around 2 minutes. I want to invite our trustee David William, Trustee David William Ochiel. Okoth Ochiel. He tells us always you must mention the 4 names. Trustee David William Okoth Ochiel, so that my job will still be safe after this. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Bwana CEO. My task is to move a vote of thanks. In absentia, we want to appreciate our chief guest who has left, the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Honorable Felix Kosgei. We also want to appreciate in absentia the Principal Secretary of the National Treasury, Dr. Chris Kipto. We also want to appreciate all the CEOs represented here, especially the Teachers Service Commission, who has been represented by the Director of HR, the representative for the Public Service Commission, the representative for the State Department of Public Service, and all the PSS representatives. We appreciate the members of the Board of Trustees. They have spent a lot of time to make sure this comes to what it is today, together with the Secretariat of the PSSS for the sleepless nights you've gone through to ensure that this comes to where we are today. We also appreciate the service providers. That includes the scheme administrator, the fund managers, the custodian, for a job well done, the Office of the Auditor General for giving us a clean bill of health, that this has been done well and that your funds are safe. We also want to appreciate all the members that are here present physically and those who are attending virtually. We also appreciate the Kenya School of Government for giving us such a wonderful arena to be in, not forgetting the members of the media, the KBC, who have been able to air this live and also giving us this platform. All other guests that have been here, you are highly appreciated, and we thank you so, so much for making this a success. And above all, we would want to appreciate the Almighty God, who is the owner of the earth and the heavens. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Trustee David William Okoth Ochiel, so that I'm back here next year. So now we want to close the meeting with a prayer. We'd like to invite Mohammed from Gen Africa to kindly lead us in a word of prayer.
Thank you very much. Let's be up and standing. I'll pray in Arabic. At the end, we'll say Amin. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Amin.
Thank you very much. Just a bit of housekeeping. Lunch will be served at Margaret Kobia Hall. And remember to take your abridged version of the strategic plan as you walk out. My name is Betty Kiptum. It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much.